patrol car right behind this vehicle right now, so it's not like the suspect is seeing vehicles, patrol cars right behind him. It just appears he's desperate to try and get as far away from police as possible, and we're just seeing the types of speeds on the freeway, the type of erratic driving that a lot of time ends badly. We certainly hope that is not the case, but followed so many of these pursuits where innocent people are hurt or even killed, and this sort of has that kind of feel to it, Philip.
Yeah, and that's such an interesting observation that you made, or point, that there are no ground units even right behind him. So you begin to question why this person is driving in this manner with police not directly behind him. And you said that the air units are not above. So it's confusing as well as frightening.
It absolutely is. There's no air unit overhead, and it's not us because the suspect doesn't know we're here. We're pretty high compared to what law enforcement is. They're right down on the deck, about 300 feet. We're up at 1,000 feet, so there's no presence from us that the suspect may think, I see that helicopter up there. That certainly is not the case. And as you mentioned, you wonder, you're trying to get into some sort of sense of what's going on in the mind of that driver, that suspect. They're driving crazy to get away from whom? They don't even know that there's a patrol car or us following them. Now, it looks like speeds have slowed a little bit. Maybe it's possible, not too much, but a little bit, that this individual believes that there's no law enforcement around or that they have eluded the police, and so they're going to calm down. We hope that is the case. I believe this is going to put the suspect back onto the 405 freeway southbound, if I'm not mistaken, and we will see here in just a moment. There is a lot of police presence in the area, but there's no one right behind him. They just couldn't follow him, Philip. He was driving so erratically that the patrol cars could not keep up with him.
So what would protocol be in this circumstance, Scott? I mean, how are they even in the area to look if they're not following it in any shape?
Well, they're monitoring us. We understand. Okay. We've heard that information. They're seeing what is going on right now. They're seeing the location. We're on the 405 freeway here, south of the 110 freeway, down through the Carson area, the vehicle off to the shoulder. And certainly when they watch this from our feed and they see how dangerous it is, they'd like to get this suspect in custody. Now, right now, the suspect possibly believes there's no one behind him. He's in the clear. He's in the right shoulder doing the speed limit, 65, 67, 68 miles an hour, about the flow of traffic. And right now there's not a lot of threat to the community. So maybe some of that desperate driving we saw, Philip, was just to get away from the immediate police presence that the suspect initially had behind him. Right now it looks like the speeds have really calmed. So as far as the strategy, I'm not certain because, you know, it changes from time to time depending on the supervisor that's in charge at the time, whether or not they want to get up on this guy, try and get him into custody, whether or not maybe they have the license plate, they have a good look at the individual, and they'll pick them up at home some other time. I'm not certain exactly how they'll handle it, but right now the suspect is driving the speed limit and we don't see any threats, so that's going to definitely play in their decision on how to handle this.
I will say there was a moment where he got back on this freeway, the 405, that I actually thought that there were two vehicles that looked similar that went under an overpass at the same time, and he turned left. I actually thought that this was a different one. And that the other one was so. We're
going to go around the other side real quick. Let's
that's the way, because that would be that fender that was the one that was broken. But well, we don't even know why we don't even know why the pursuit began in the first place at this point. All we knew was northbound 405 at Carson. We don't have any kind of description.
Yeah,
there it is. Yeah, that's him.
Philip. So that would have explained it, though. All of a sudden, the suspect was driving at a much slower rate, the speed limit, and not driving erratically. But now we're getting off of the 405 freeway onto Carson Street in the Compton area, and this is exactly where the suspect got off the 405 freeway northbound earlier. We understand Sheriff's Air 8 is en route. They'll be overhead pretty soon, so it looks like they're going to more than likely want to get this guy. They're going to want to get this over, and they're going to try and do so in a manner where they, yeah, boy, look at that, huh? So close to some of these vehicles. I mean, lucky that nobody's been hit head on, because we've seen that happen so close, coming right at traffic. Certainly fortunate it hasn't just run into the side of a semi a moment ago.
Oh, Scott, we've got a truck getting right up on him now. That truck was somebody that he nearly hit. There for a second, I thought he was coming up to engage with this person, because that you're also looking at now as well, because with no police anywhere, If a person, you run the risk of road rage in this, where this person nearly hits somebody and then that person reacts to that. So you don't have the lights and siren element here that alert people around him to know that this person's even a possibility.
Yeah, we have seen that in the past, Philip. We're still seeing some pretty desperate driving here, at least swerving in and out of traffic, trying to continue on this pace here and not stop at any of these intersections. But nothing like what we saw earlier when we saw speeds of 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, it looked like, on the surface streets, and swerving in and out of traffic and even into oncoming lanes so that the suspect didn't have to slow down. Right now we're on Avalon. We're in the Compton area. We understand Sheriff's Air 8 will be overhead in a moment, and they are deploying units around this area. They're definitely going to want to get this suspect into custody. They had a patrol car behind it, a CHP unit, so they have the license plate. They did say, we heard them say, they believe only one person, the driver, inside the vehicle. So more than likely they've run the plates, they've run the registered owner. They have an idea if it matches the description of the registered owner in this vehicle, and that'll give them a lot more information on exactly how to handle this, whether that's the driver, the suspect, may be wanted for something more than just driving erratically and trying to get away from police. You understand it's a Kia Soul. That's some information that they put out right now, a midsize or a small SUV. And at least for now, fortunately, the pace has slowed and the danger to the community definitely has dissipated now that the suspect isn't driving so erratically.
Well, in a sense, but the driver nearly hit parked cars trying to pass that box truck in front of him on the on the right, and the next thing you know, he's just missing the vehicles, and clearly he's hit something, because we saw the damage on the other side. Don't know that was a moving vehicle, but it could have been a post or who knows what. I mean, this guy has actually. And from Air 7's perspective, sometimes your shot is tight enough that we don't even see the car coming, and all of a sudden he makes a mad dash between some things. So this is, and then this happens where he just stops at the intersection.
Yeah, what has changed, Philip, is the speed that he's traveling on the surface streets and how desperate the suspect appears to be. We're seeing stops now here at Avalon and 238th, and we've just relayed that information to the Sheriff's Department, so they'll be overhead very, very soon here. But, the suspect does risk getting himself locked in, and there you see he wanted nothing to do with being locked into that intersection right there, and went around in front of that semi and now got onto Sepulveda Boulevard. So at least the speed has slowed a little bit. Obviously, from following these things over the years, you'll see somebody slow down and take it easy, and then for no reason just take off. No patrol cars behind them, no air units overhead, and it's almost impossible to try and guess why. But at least the speeds have slowed, because we saw some extremely high rates of speed into oncoming traffic, nearly ran into a couple of cars. The speed is down a little bit, and the erratic driving down a little bit compared to what we saw 10 minutes ago.
Well, and I think another good thing is the condition of that road there with the median in the middle, because he was just using the left turn lane as a passing lane, and that's when the oncoming traffic became such a terrifying ordeal for so many people, because that's when he was at his highest speed, driving into oncoming traffic, because there was no center median. He was just using the left turn lane.
Yeah, then speeding up again. We had speeds that were about. Oh, look at that!
Wow.
Look at how. Oh my goodness! Whoa, we've just about had an incredible accident right there. That would have been bad. I mean, that looked like inches away from missing that vehicle that went through the intersection. We are coming up. We're getting on the 110 freeway northbound now, traveling through the Compton area, the Torrance area, if you will. And you see the damage on that right front fender, and boy, we're just fortunate we didn't see a horrific accident at high speeds there a moment ago in that intersection.
Well, the one thing that he has done when he was on the freeway is that aggressive cross lane, multiple lanes, and there was one time he went all the way to the shoulder, and it looked as if he was going to roll that vehicle. And even now, he does look like it is certainly unstable with some of his maneuvering. It's not as if it's a high-profile vehicle, but he does not have the greatest control of this thing at this speed when he goes across 4 lanes of traffic.
The IFB.
And Scott, you might have lost IFB. I think I might have heard you say, but now up to 90, 91 miles an hour on the 110 freeway. near Carson, but he was on the 405 for a manner of time. He was heading northbound on the 405. Now he's heading on the 110 north. And so clearly, the further north he's going to go, the more traffic he's going to run into. Right now, he's able to maintain a fairly high rate of speed. It looks as if we're mid 80s, but it's not overwhelming speed. It is a little faster than the pace of traffic. But the problem is with this particular person is his willingness to make incredibly unsafe moves.
Describe it. That vehicle right there was in pursuit. The Sheriff's Department was chasing it in the Compton area for quite some time, and then the California Highway Patrol joined in as well. They basically, it got ahead of them. They kind of lost it. It got onto the freeway now. Now we're northbound 405 freeway. You can see that this vehicle really kind of riding the emergency lane, pushing its way between other vehicles, and then making its way back out into traffic. It has some damage. Not clear if that damage happened during the pursuit. Right now, the Sheriff's Department is pursuing it, but they're in their helicopter above it, keeping an eye on where it's going. They are broadcasting the information, and I believe they're working with the California Highway Patrol to try to get this an officer behind it. Right now, though, high speeds, dangerous driving, stolen vehicle, and that driver of that vehicle is doing, like they always say, drive it like you stole it. This has been hair-raising just watching this vehicle for the few moments. We've been over it. He's been on. We got him when he was getting onto the freeway. High speeds, sharp turns, weaving in and out of traffic. Very dangerous stuff. Bobby? That's right, and we know that this speedometer pretty accurate in this helicopter we're in right now, Bobby. Just so that one of the things that, just to make conversation, is California Highway Patrol was very aggressive trying to stop this vehicle earlier on. Apparently it was making blocks in a neighborhood near on Normandy. I don't remember the exact crosses, but they were actually trying to get those spike strips out in front of this car many times, and they were unable to. Probably high speeds are one of the reasons why they didn't initialize the pit maneuver. We've seen it in the they were unable to. Probably high speeds are one of the reasons why they didn't initialize the pit maneuver. We've seen it in the past where they basically just kind of bump the back of the car. Speeds are always something that's very of a concern when they're performing that maneuver. But they were really trying to get those spike strips out there, and they were unable to do that. Right now, though, you can see these speeds, very high speeds. Northbound 405 traffic relatively light, and I'm sorry, northbound 110 freeway, and the traffic relatively light. We're coming up onto the 105. We heard that it started Carson. Compton is where we were hearing it earlier on. But, maybe he's making his way back to that direction because he did make his way very south at one time. Right now, northbound 110 freeway, you can see the traffic kind of building. I'm keeping an eye on it to see where he's going. If he's hanging out on the left lanes, he's probably not going to be able to make that 105 transition. But LAPD, I'm sorry, the law enforcement is going to be the California Highway Patrol. But they're trying to get in place to get next to it. There he goes. He's making that move. 105 is going to be the choice for sure.
The 105 is always terrible. That was a bad choice, in my opinion. But it's interesting because the traffic was terrible today with the weather. People were going crazy, and the roads could be slick as well. So that could certainly be a dangerous situation for not just this driver, but the other drivers on the roadway here. So now this is they're calling it a following, but what's interesting to me is oftentimes the CHP or these officers pull back thinking it's too dangerous, but it doesn't seem to matter in this situation. This driver is still driving very dangerously.
You know, that's one of the ones, you know, they do. That's exactly the reason why they basically back off, as it would be. They'll basically just kind of slow it down or back off so that the driver might not see those flashing lights and maybe lose that tension that suspect has running from the officers. In this case, you're right. There is nothing noticeable to that driver down there that would say that somebody's pursuing them, and yet the speeds continue to stay up close to 100 miles an hour. This car clearly passing every other vehicle on the roadway right there. That little Toyota RAV4, it looked like he even hit the brakes. Maybe this car came too close. But right now we're actually heading westbound on the 105 freeway. We're getting into the Hawthorne area. Maybe he's going back to the original area that he started at. It's common, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly what's going to happen. It's stolen vehicles, so they don't know where this person lives. It isn't like they can run the plate and have somebody waiting at the house. So right now, it's just kind of follow, see what's going on. I have one ear on the scanner. I do hear the helicopter making regular calls. That's going to be the sheriff's ship. If he's calling out in the blind, just kind of letting officers know in the area that this is a stolen vehicle if he gets off the freeway, or if CHP is actively trying to get behind it once again. Those, I'm kind of curious myself. Right now, just extremely high speeds on the 105 freeway. The car clearly damaged, but those wheels, well, look at that, look at that. Those wheels clearly, the tires clearly solid right now as the vehicle continues at these high speeds. 105 freeway westbound, well into the Hawthorne area right now.
You look at the speed of that car relative to the other cars, and it's a good thing we have that speedometer on the right top corner of your screen so you could actually see how fast this vehicle is going. 113 miles per hour I saw at one point, and there you see the driver getting right behind some other vehicles. Perhaps this driver tries to dump off there on the 105 freeway because once you get to the end there towards the LAX area, it always gets tight and congested toward the end. But it does look like this the driver's pulling over. Well, maybe not, Stu.
Nope. No, I thought he was actually going to use that off-ramp right there. Sorry about that, Bobby. We're in one of our backup helicopters today. Don't have that ability to talk to the crew without everybody hearing us. You know, Justin, our cameraman today, really wants to get shots of the other side of the vehicle where the damage is, but because we're coming up into the LAX area, we're not going to be able to get on the other side of the 105 freeway, so this is where we're staying right now. There's one of the California Highway Patrol vehicles, so we're going to see right now, is this going to be a pursuit again, or is there, you can see that cruiser picking up speed, and also that suspect realizing, oh, there's the officers. I'm going to start moving as well. This is not what any law enforcement wants to see. This is actually not even what I like seeing, because the higher speeds, the more of a chance that somebody's going to get hurt. That SUV continuing to move very, very quickly. We're coming back up onto the 405, but he's way over in that carpool lane. I know for a fact there's no transition for the carpool, so we're staying on the 105 right now, pretty much established. He has the opportunity to get off any one of those off-ramps here that takes us by LAX, but right now it looks like he's well established. 105, high speeds. California Highway Patrol now with him once again. Those lights and sirens, I hope, are helping folks on the streets, on the freeway this afternoon, to kind of give him heads up that this is going on, keeping everybody safe, even that suspect.
Well, the speeds are the same, regardless of whether or not that CHP officer is behind this vehicle or not. We're looking at speeds well into 100 miles per hour. Looks like it's 84 miles per hour right now. As I said, getting closer now to the LAX area, and traffic gets a little tighter in that area. We'll see if things slow down just a bit here. This is believed to be a stolen vehicle. We are hearing that perhaps it came from the Hawthorne area, a pursuit now. We can call it a pursuit because there's a CHP officer now behind this vehicle. This is a pursuit that went onto the 405 freeway, then into the Carson area, onto surface streets, and back onto the freeway. Now we're at the 105 freeway at Imperial.
Running out of freeway.
Those, yeah, I was going to say the same thing, Stu. He's going to run out of freeway here.
Definitely running out of freeway. I'm looking ahead. The streets seem a little bit wide open, but that officer, now he has two of them there. That's going to be helpful as well. And it appears to be a motorcycle officer as well. That motorcycle officer might be able to keep up with him if he gets into a situation where they're, high turns, weaving in and out of small neighborhoods or tight spaces. But those cruisers, those are the ones
All right, I think we're losing the picture there. This is near the LAX area on the 105 freeway. We'll see if we can get Stu Bendel back there. But we now have a police pursuit of an SUV believed to be a stolen SUV that came out of the Hawthorne area, traveling at a very high rate of speed, speeds upward of 100 miles per hour. It dumped onto the 405 and then into the Carson area, surface streets. This vehicle is damaged, so we don't know if the vehicle was damaged during this pursuit or if it was damaged prior to it being stolen. But that driver now going through the Sepulveda area, again, onto the 105 freeway and now onto these surface streets. Stu.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we weren't sure if you had. That was a solid red right there. You know, anybody. This will.
All right, our signal continued to break up there, but as you saw, the vehicle dumped off the 105 freeway onto Imperial Highway near LAX, and the vehicle then slowing down with the CHP officer closely following behind. There was an attempt at some point during this pursuit to use spike strips, but obviously that was not successful. So we're going to continue to try to establish a signal here. Typically in the LAX area, we could have trouble with some of the signals in that area. So as soon as we get that connection, we're going to bring it to you. But a high-speed pursuit on the freeway that's now in the LAX area. We know that this driver is has exhibited dangerous actions, even not just on the freeway, but on surface streets. We got Stu Bendel. We're back. Stu?
Well, I've got news for you, Bobby. We might be back for a moment or two, but the viewers are going to go for a ride with us. We're going to have to do a low pass on the shoreline, is what they call it, to keep up with him. He's basically gotten onto Vista Del Mar right there. That parallels the ocean, but the problem is that's LAX right there as well. So we're going to be dropping down to about 500 feet to do that transition to stay out of the way of the big jets at LAX. California Highway Patrol, they're doing the best they can. They're staying with it. I can see it out the window. We're going to catch up to it pretty quickly. Sky Fox, we're quick like foxes. We're going to be there in just a few moments. Justin's going to try to hold this shot the best he can. This is amazing stuff, I got to tell you, as far as flying and doing pursuits. This is great. But that suspect continues to run from officers out here. We're going to drop down probably a little lower than the actual roadway itself. But Justin keeping that great shot. Look at that. It looks like we're down on the ground. We're a ground unit today. That pursuit continues on. That was a pretty sharp turn right there. We're gonna stay like this for a little bit. It almost looks like that vehicle's leaning a little bit. I'm also wondering, perhaps they might have lost the tire.
Okay.
But we're gonna catch up as quick as possible,
Sounds
and
good.
we'll be there in just a moment.
Great job to you, Stu, and Justin as well. We'll continue to follow that. Sky Fox overhead, and we'll tell you what happened coming up on the Fox 11 News at noon. We're going to bring you back to Wendy.
Action it gets from people. Let's take a look at this choco therapy. Who doesn't love a little choco therapy? Okay, yeah. See, you get a bath in chocolate, and then they sprinkle more chocolate and spices on you, and you lick it.
Oh, you know
and
what?
you eat it off your hands.
Ryan, you know what's crazy about this trend?
Yeah.
I know the chef that invented it.
Yeah.
My 6-year-old nephew is the one that started that. That is, I'm joking. He's looking like, really? No, that you would eat over it?
Oh, thank you. No, thank you. This is going viral.
You got him? I'm looking out your window. All right. Okay, he's coming back. He's coming back. Justin, you got him. You got him. You got him. Keep going. Keep going. Back on Sepulveda. He's coming to a stop. There he is. You got him. You got him. Are we up on digital, or did you just knock down the signal? Are we still broadcasting? Looks like we're going back the other way. Let's kind of pick it up. Just stay ahead of him. Let's go. Oh, nope. He stayed. He stayed. Oh, thank goodness. He's up. Yeah, he's right up in here. He's in this neighborhood right here. But he's gonna. He has to come back towards us. He's coming back towards us. He has to. If we reboot the transmitter, we're not going to be able to see what's going on. I know. Okay. What? Test. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, now we have to go. We have to catch him. He's over there. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, we got to find him first. CHP lost him. Everybody lost him. He was making his way down Imperial last time I saw him. What is that guy doing? That CHP guy, dude. He's gonna take out a tree. Justin, I'm sorry you got to deal with all this crap. See? Coming back northbound? Is he turning around and coming this way? Okay. We got it. Turn around. We got it. We can't. We have to stay 500 or below. All right, he's going back. Oh. Justin, he's on this straightaway if you can find him. I think I saw him going past us. Yeah. No, they're coming back this way? Okay. He's going back to that residential neighborhood. Yep, there it is. And he's going back up the, yep, he is. Wonder why. I see it. It's just like doing power lines. All right, he's back. I see him. He's right there. He's making that same turn. If he goes back on Imperial, what are we going to do? He's right up over here. He's right up. He's at the right. He's behind us about 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, and he's doing the same thing. He's going back on. He's on Imperial. He's back on Imperial. He's back on Imperial. You want to try to get over there? He's going. Yeah, he's going that way. Short line, please, as quick as possible. Let's try to get ahead of him. Okay. Yeah, I just saw him. He's just at the. Oddly enough. Okay, cool. He just passed the Qantas plane. Yep, we got to do the shoreline again. Either that, yeah. his speed come back because he's probably going to do the same route. Right on, right. East. Here. Return. Naughty. That's Imperial. There he is. There he is. Yeah, he's right. He's not at the airport yet. He's making his way. Let me see what you're looking at. I'm trying to see what you're looking at. I see the cars. Yeah, he's ahead of them. He's ahead of them. And there's gonna be terrain, and then he'll be able to see him a little farther up. There you okay. Oh. There we go. What happened? Where'd he go? There he is. Eastbound 105. Oh, nope, nope, nope. No spike strips. Well, we're back over towards the LAX area. We were on Imperial just a few moments ago. Really high speeds. This driver actually saw the spike strips and made this hard turn right there. He's going to pop out right there on Sepulveda. Just give him a second. He should be. There he is, right there. California Highway Patrol really kind of done with this whole thing. You can see even the drivers from the from California Highway Patrol really starting to work this a little bit more. There you go. Just stopped. Just stopped. Just like that. And this is, we've seen this so many times in the past. Some really dangerous driving, some very just crazy maneuvers. And right now, he just kind of stopped right there. And as soon as that vehicle stopped, hands out, it also looks like there's some people in the back seat as well, Bobby. I just kind of wondered what that conversation was inside that car with all these high-speed maneuvers and dangerous tactics. But plenty of hands outside the windows. And that vehicle now stopped. This is going to be, actually, technically, it's going to be Sepulveda Boulevard, but it's coming up as California, PCH. But there you go. The driver out of the vehicle. There's a passenger in the back as well. We'll see as we'll watch as everybody starts coming out of the car. Whew. There's. Yes. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And, you just wonder what that conversation was inside this vehicle when at those high speeds. You've got other folks in there with you. Somebody must have at one point said, hey, you know what? This is a little crazy. Today's not a good day to die or hurt somebody. So at any rate, you've got two people now going into custody. I can tell you there's at least a third because I see the hands out on the driver's side rear window as well. That's the second one going into custody right there. And then the third, they'll probably ask that person to get out here in just a moment. But California Highway Patrol, these guys solid. They were on it the whole time. Some really crazy driving going on. towards there. It's when we were off the air for just a few moments. High speeds, sharp turns. It looked like he might have got a little squirrely a couple times, and then right when we were coming live, they were setting up spike strips at the entrance of the 105 freeway. That driver saw them at the last second making a hard turn, but in the end, that vehicle just coming to a stop. The driver just basically pulling over. And all three now in custody, and I believe that's it, but there's always a possibility there might be a fourth inside that car. Woo! That was a ride. Colby? Freaking awesome, man. Freaking awesome. Yeah, there definitely there's a delay going on. I noticed that too. It's that 4-second delay because we keep rebooting everything in here. Okay, cool. Oh, you want to see if my lips are moving with the words? That's probably pretty smart. And 3, 2, 1, 0. I'm talking now. If you can read lips, what am I saying? What do you think I just said? Cool. One 1,000, two 1,000, three 1,000, four 1,000, five 1,000. That's about as far as I can go. Four seconds probably. That's what we were having before, right? But we've been having encoder issues, and we've been rebooting it the whole time. So 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. All right. Man, that was a wild ride. Yep. Thank you. You just said good work. What? What? Yeah. Simon Desk, what would you like your helicopter to do within reason? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Let me find out what they want to do. Yeah, you are. Feels like the old days. Yeah.